Welcome back, everybody. We've got Season 3 of the Sorcerer Summit here. This is Joffrey versus James. Uh, James's list I'll have in the description along with Joffrey's, and then after this game I will have top 8 breakdowns and discussions just going through the top 8 lists. Um, Tell me what you think of this. I don't know if I'm sold on it, but I wanted to I don't know if I'm sold on it, but I wanted to zoom into the board a little bit more. Um, so funny thing about this game, game one or not game one, but the championship is over in less than 5 minutes. But afterwards, they were nice enough to play a second round two just to show off the decks and see what they were able to do. So that game was a little bit longer and a little more in depth, but this first one, Joffrey has some issues hitting threshold. So you can see that he mulliganed sites looking for an Earth site, didn't find one, got two towers instead, and then also has a Death Dealer in hand that's going to be dead for a while. James has two Lugbog cats and a Ruler Thule. So this is a little sketchy for Joffrey for sure. And James's list is pretty similar to Season two's champion of the Steam Druid. I'm starting to think Steam Druid can be really, really good. The water stuff, I've been playing Druid a little bit more, especially in water, with some Scape Chef from CJ's list. And just having minions on water sites makes them feel a little stickier. And then the Lugbog Cat at 4 toughness doesn't fall to the common lightning bolt. So this Steam Druid list has a lot of resiliency in the fact that their minions stay alive a little bit longer, and it can have some big turns. And Druid plus Air can flip for Bruin and get grapple shot value. Like, you always have a minion for a minion payoff card, and then you can see Joffrey's turn. He got a Liddy Isolt and a Boneyard, just two dead cards, and I was watching this and it was rough. But this Joffrey's list, I should say, Joffrey's list is very, very, very strong. He's playing a lot of the defensive sites like Gnome Hollow's Free Cities, but it is 3-color, so there is an innate danger of not hitting threshold. It's very similar in the way that Archmagio kind of falls to itself sometimes, and this defensive the controlling list of defensive sites, I've been picked up and called them prison sites. The prison sites of Deathspeaker and Magoo can kind of lose in themselves sometimes. And yeah, so this turn, James is going to play Ruler Thule and hit for 5, 10, for 15 off of Ruler Thule and 2 cats and Tawny attacking for an extra. Yeah, and so that's basically game one. If Joffrey could have played Land Surveyor and drew an extra site, but even then, I think it's still a rough draw. Going into this cat on 2 off a pond, cat on 3 into Ruler, that is just so much pressure. Yeah, and then even if Joffrey does have a minion to block something, and there's a mesmerism on the other end, there's just these kind of games happen in Sorcery sometimes. But that was the championship. Congrats to James for winning the whole thing. And here, game 2, this is much more of the game Joffrey wants to be playing. You can see there he has 2 Gnome Hollows and a Wizard's Den. So you can play Wizard's Den, Gnome Hollows, draw a spell, play Land Surveyor, draw a site, and then just kind of have a lot of just innate card advantage. And then with the prison sites, of Gnome Hollows, it blocks so many of James's minions from getting in effectively and on curve. James here has Trinket and Ring. Ring is just a good card, but Joffrey doesn't really have the minions to ping and gain, and he kind of does that one big combo turn of, what do you call it, Nimbus Gen. But the Trinket isn't so bad in Druid's list because you always have Tawny, and you can always like play Tawny, have some minion payoff. Oh, you can, I guess, Joffrey mulliganed the 2 prison sites, which is an interesting choice. I think I would have kept at least 1 Gnome Hollows to put up front. And got a Quagmire and a Mirror Realm. Angel's Egg, just, if you can't remove Angel's Egg, it will honestly win more games than you expect. It's just sneakily gaining 2 every turn cycle, and it's really hard to like beat through that if you only have 1 minion on board. Even a 4/4 only deals 2 damage a turn, and that's if you get to attack consistently with it. But a lot of these control lists have like earthquakes and firebolts and a lot of ways to deal with minions. And I'm back now. I had to go walk a dog, but I pulled up Joffrey's list here. He does have a Quagmire there to like slow down, but in this game, James doesn't really have like that curve of pond into cat. It could be, that could really be any kind of like double minion turns, but only having Quarrelsome Kobolds is a hard spot to be in going against a control list, even Archimago or Deathspeaker. You just kind of need to play a minion every single turn to eventually like wear him out of resources and removal. That's why it's so hard to play against Archimago. He just doesn't run out of resources very well. And Deathspeaker used to be the king control list, especially since he had so many like incidental card draw, like Land Surveyors and Apprentice Wizards. Back in 4020, Deathspeaker was king in the control and value engine, but now with Druid, he can apply that consistent pressure that Deathspeaker really has a hard time dealing with. In this game, James just has a very removal-heavy hand with kobolds, and that's being the only minion. And I totally get James not wanting to play kobolds here because it's just going to get removed no matter what. So you kind of want to hold it so you can do a double spell turn, and hopefully one of them will survive a turn cycle. That's what I've kind of found going against a lot of control lists, especially Deathspeaker or Magoo or whatever, is you have to have that double spell turn to, like, hopefully one of them survives. And should also say, in this event, in the Sorcerer Summit Season 3, Archimago was banned, so when we go over to the top 8 list, he won't be there. And I've also seen some Druid lists playing Pack with the Devil. I think this James list also has Pack with the Devil, and if you're in Fire and Druid, Pack seems like a really good card. Tawny is just a free, that's the power of something with, and that, I know I've said it before, is that's the power of Tawny, is just the always having a minion. In this game, maybe I could have seen like being a little more aggressive with my avatar, since James has the ring in hand, and like building a site base and getting nearby Deathspeaker to just like continually ping him down and like pressure him that way. Monstrous Lion is a great card, but the fact it can't attack sites is awkward at times, kind of like in this scenario where it would feel really good to attack its Wizard's Den for 3 or for 4 and then not be able to get removed by that Firebolt. But James is going to Blaze and attack for 2 and make him discard, which feels like, that seems like a decent like tempo play. I don't love just burning Blaze. Maybe you could have attacked or played kobolds on Pond and used Tawny as a sack outlet. I don't know. That seemed like the best option at the at that point, or maybe played Monstrous Lion and just moved up and attack, like moved on to Wizard's Den. And I don't know. That seems like a hard. That's a hard turn. You want to apply pressure, but you don't want to like dump your hand. And only spending one card to do that, I think, was probably fine. But now, Joffrey has Angel's Eggs and all the mana in the world to do whatever he wanted with. So now, whenever James has some kind of like pressure, the relief Angel Eggs has is so great. You kind of need some disenchant or dispel effect. I think the only effect that this list is the Steam Druid list is playing is Shatter Strike. So it's a little artifacts are a little stickier. Maybe that's like one of the not the downfalls, but one of the like weaknesses of the Steam Druid is they don't have access to dispel or disenchant, and so artifacts just stick around and cause havoc, like Angel's Eggs and cores and whatnot. So attacking for 2, just negating that healing. And then here, I think he plays Kobolds. Yep, playing Kobolds. And then it's probably going to sack Tawny to it. Which doesn't feel bad, but yeah. This is a rough hand to have. You need to play minions every single turn, and not having minions every single turn feels awkward and a little bit rough. Oh, the other thing he could have done with Blaze was flip for Bruin eventually at one point, and then use Blaze as a surprise attack with Bruin. Yeah, it's just this is a hard going against a fully online Deathspeaker control, or fully online Archimalgo control, or just control in general. I know there's Moth's Elementalist control list. You just know any menu you play is gonna get removed. It's a little frustrating at times, but mid range is in a decent spot, I think, right now, especially with Druid. Druid is a wonderful mid range avatar, and then now pack with the Devil to sack a recastable Apprentice Wizard is it's just gross, and then Poison Nova and spiders to lock down sites and nearby things. So this is like firmly where Joffrey wants to be, and like this is where control lists, even Archimago removed, just thrive, is when the opponent doesn't have the early turn 2, 3, and 4 pressure before they can get online. A lot of control lists like Deathspeaker or Archimago get online on turn 4 at the earliest, 5 most of the time, and 6 at the latest. So that's like you have a window to pressure and a window to like set the tempo and like get them behind the foot or behind the 8 ball kind of thing. And yeah, like Disintegrate, Mesmerism, even the Ring these are all kind of dead cards right now because there's just nothing to use them on. Same thing with Archimago, where he just plays spells, so all your removal is dead. So he negates like 20-25% of a lot of decks, where a lot of the frustration lies. So here, James plays Fields to get back Tawny, and is going to attack for 3 and punch for 3. And then playing the Monstrous Lion. Now, this is like there was no other play, so I get it. But it's just this is like a commission you committed to the board, and you're just praying that the control list doesn't have the removal. But Joffrey's hand is Berry, Poison Nova, Earthquake, and nothing is gonna stick around, and Joffrey's gonna get to do whatever he wants. So Joffrey's going to play Mirror Realm, copying Fields. Oh, that's a dirty play. Not using Poison Nova or Earthquake, and using a site to do that seems really strong. And now he can just spend a berry to get rid of the entire board. Very smart play here. And so here, Joffrey's opting to not use premium removal, which is very smart. you really want to hold your hard removal like Berry, Earthquake, and Poison Nova for unanswerable threats. So like I'm trying to think of a way to explain how what he did is so much better at like clearing the board than just using a Poison Nova. Poison Nova can hit anything, even a questing beast with stealth. So using non-premium cards like a Magic Missiles and Violent makes a lot of sense. And James is just in a hard spot and just plays the minion he has, which makes a lot of sense. So Joffrey, I think, attacks for 2 and is debating about blocking. In this scenario, there's no reason to block. James is at 20. Losing stealth opens it up to removal. Yeah, so James doesn't block. So keeping your minion around is so much more important than saving 2 damage when you're at 20. So now, unfortunately, stealth doesn't get around Earthquake, but you have to make him have it. Joffrey could have used Poison over there, but lost the Imp. Some rearranging, I don't think it really matters. So Joffrey has 3 mana left, debating about playing Spider probably, or tapping and drawing Sight. Yeah, and here comes Spider. Spider is just good be able to lock down that front row, and playing it on 8 is and get another trinket, so it's rough there. But playing on 8 is, you can play it on 9, but you can't block 7. So just like placement matters so much more. He could have played it on 3 and only blocks 2 and 8, but flexibility in placement is the strongest thing you can be doing, especially with like positional wise. And then now here, I don't know if I love like moving it to 7. I think I would have left it on 8 and used it as like a deterrent of don't play to 7. And so now, if some scenario in the future James can play to 14, the Spider can't get to 9 in time. And Grandmaster Wizard for some more card draw. So that was Grandmaster Wizard and Pact with the Devil. So that's 4 extra cards that James doesn't get to see. So even at this point in the game, where the pressure has been alleviated, and now Angel's Egg can kind of gain some incremental damage over a couple or incremental life over a couple turns, makes Angel's Egg really strong. Askelin Phoenix is a interesting get around Poison Nova minion. Askelin Phoenix, along with Hounds of Honduras, the 5 mana 4/4 flying some kind of effect creatures, are also Dapple Vampire. Those 3 minions have been phenomenal in my testing and playing. They have to answer threats. Askelin Phoenix is great into charge or any other red deck. It doesn't take any damage. Vampire is great into aggro, just because even if it blocks for 4, it gains 4, and then they have to spend another minion to get rid of it. That is really strong. And so now the ring comes out. So I think this is when, as the Druid player, what is the win condition here? You're not drawing minions, you're not drawing pressure, so you kind of have to pressure with your avatar in the ring. The ring with 2 trinkets can burn through a lot of minions and has lots of healing. So here's another reason why I didn't like moving the Spider. Now, next turn James can move up, take care of Wizard and Land Surveyor, and attack with Phoenix if it doesn't get removed. Caveat, if it doesn't get removed. But another Angel's Egg on Joffrey's side is, that's going to be hard to beat through. Gaining 4 in a turn cycle is just backbreaking. So here, another sneaky answer to rings and artifacts is berries. Berry does say minion or artifact, and perfect example there of taking care of the ring. And here, playing the Aura, the Black Plague and Great Famine are both in Joffrey's list, and these things are bonkers. Um, especially in like a token, like I got a bunch of little 1/1s I don't really care about, like Grandmaster Wizard, Land Surveyor, anything. You just throw it in there and it sticks around for another turn. So in this like board state, what does James like? How does James pressure? There's no prison sites on Joffrey's side, but there's a spider on desert and a great famine that's just gonna sit there and kill whatever he plays. So his only two safe options, quote unquote safe, are 12 and 17. But there's no pressure there. There's no um, like tempo. There's no like it doesn't gain any value from playing to those two sites. So that's why Rebex is no longer there or didn't get played. And then here here comes Morgana for more card draw. Another three cards. What does this make? Another two, so another six cards that Joffrey has over James. And this is quintessential sorcery control, where like the area denial is so great that your opponent is like, there's nothing he can do with a spider and a great famine that's just going to stick around for the rest of the game. And so the Land Surveyor is going to attack, deal one, kind of whatever, but the main goal here is to keep that Great Famine around. Great Famine and Black Plague are so underplayed, in my opinion. They are premium removal. They hit spiders. They are just super frustrating. Even if they come down, remove a thing, and screws up your opponent's tempo for a turn where they can't play it efficiently. Where even if they just stuck around for one turn, James couldn't play Rebex, right, for a turn. And Summoning Sphere for that potential Nimbusgen at some point. I think Joffrey plays another Angel's Egg. This, if you find yourself in this kind of state, it is so hard to come back from the three extra card draw spells, the board control of Great Famine and Spider. He's got a Poison Nova that he has, and removal, another Common Sense. Like, this is Deathspeaker firing on all cylinders. And then Land Surveyor dies, keeps that Great Famine around a turn. Another Disintegrate from James. It's just like some poor draws for sure. But what you gonna do? Gotta apply pressure somehow. Yep, just attacking for 6. There's not really a better option. Like, you can attack Spider, but that doesn't really change anything. You can't attack Morgana. Maybe there's an argument to attack Violent, so it's harder for Joffrey to keep the Great Plague around, or the Great Famine around for an extra turn. But man, it is losing the ring. This is what Deathspeaker used to do in 4020. I think it's a little weaker and a little more inconsistent now with the 50-30. And so now Joffrey gets to apply pressure with his his 2/2 minions, but James isn't gaining life off the egg. And now it's just like, well, all right, I'll just punch you with my little minions and we'll burn you out. And another Angel's Egg just kind of seals the deal, in my opinion. And another Spider, just so many minions. I think James is playing... Oh, he's not playing his own Poison Nova. I kind of like... I would probably... Maybe... I don't know if I'd play Poison Nova. He has a Lava Flow to deal with spiders, which makes a lot of sense. It kind of does the similar thing, but I feel like I can play around spiders a little bit more than... with a Lava Flow. And Lava Flow has 2 threshold, 5 threshold, instead of Poison Nova's 1. So now James can play the Manticore up on the pawn to block something. We'll try to take care of Morgana. So here's going to flip. I think I think I remember James talking about this afterwards of like, why did I flip? Because it's just going to die to Great Famine. At this point, I think James can see the writing on the wall and just kind of had a brain slip for a half a second. Like, it happens to the best of us. But yeah, with the Nimbus Djinn and enough minions on board, I think this game is pretty well sealed up in Joffrey's camp. And this is a great example of how Deathspeaker can be so oppressive and control can be so good. But in game one, no Earthsight and you're in deck kind of thing. And that was you just lost to your in deck kind of thing. And that is the cost of building 3-color for sure. So then here, Joffrey has Morgana come over and poison Nova just to clear out the board. Maybe James could have done something with Mesmerism and taken Morgana. I wonder if memorize a Morgana that's in play. Do you get the minions or the cards that are in a hand? I would assume so, right? I don't know. Somebody leave a comment and tell me if I'm right or wrong. I also get why James had to play Manticore on Pond. It was just for blocking. And there's the third trinket. It's just like, just need minions, man. Just need minions. But yeah, I'm going to fast forward this game a little bit more and we'll skip to the end and go to some decks. And yeah, this next turn, Joffrey has Nimbus Djinn, and that's probably like his, not win con, but like how he's going to deal Death's Door. James is trying to figure out where to go that's halfway safe. The knight and his little minions are going to attack. That's why James kind of like moved over to Pond real quick to try to like block that. But being on Summoning Sphere is not a good spot to be against Deathspeaker. And then, so even if he moves over, he gets punched by Morgana and other things, so he has 5 damage looking at him. So he takes Disintegrate to get rid of Morgana, but there's still 5 damage off of Spider and the Sir and his 2 little guys there. Yep, there's Death's Door. Gonna walk over. Deathspeaker moves up, and now it's just like whoever. Oh, get a free pack with the devil, which is kind of fun. James is at 7 mana, so he could Morgana and then do something else. No, you could just play Morgana, but nothing else. So play Kobold to take care of Spider. So here James takes his matter into his own hands and takes out Spider, and that's game. Nice game, guys. Thank you so much for the round 2. All right, so here we have the top 8 lists. This is by Jacoby, and just a reminder, this was Season 3 of the Sorcerer Summit. We had Sorcerer and Archimago Band. Both of those bands, I made the format feel very diverse and open. We had, we'll go through this, I think 3 or 4 different avatars in the top 8. It was a really good top 8. So this is a Druid, Air, Water kind of scape shift deck. We'll see something similar to this in CJ's list, but Green Knight, Devillian Kraken, Great Old One, Hydra, Mother Nature, all great cards to scape shift into. Questing Beasts and Hounds of Endurance are great 5 drops. The Lord of Undolin, this is playing a little more like into that water theme. Atlantean Fate and Great Drowning in Men. If you can Great Drowning in Men off of Mixed Aqua and they don't remove it, that's a one-sided board wipe. It's almost GG at that point. But really cool list, Jack. We'll move on to another one. All right, and Henchman, Season 3, Sorcerer Summit. This is a Pathfinder Ablaze deck. So trying to gain the value of Pathfinder's like innate card advantage with Ablazes, trying to like force them to draw more sites than they really want to. Playing a lot of good fire minions here with Warhorse and Violence, and Scarab's a little sketchy to me, but the Phoenix and Siege Giant is a good 4/4 to throw your avatar around, especially as Pathfinder. You don't get locked in. Angel's Eggs, and Magellan's Globe is great in Pathfinder. Crater Eyes, because you're getting to probably 8 mana, especially off of Warhorse and the Giants like movement abilities. Infernal Legion as a great like, hey, can you remove this thing? Question. Death Dealer as a great like board stabilizer, and playing a really good Fire Earth list, but with the Blaze and a little bit of land destruction, try to push them to draw more sites than your opponent's comfortable with. So here we have Fearful Cheese, another Pathfinder land destruction list. Castle Blaze, the Hamlet Blaze, just pushed a little bit harder into that direction, playing a lot of the similar minions here with Siege Giant and Warhorse to move around, and then same kind of top end there, but no Crater Eyes. But Major Explosion will do about the same thing, and hopefully at that point it's negligible. You've gotten down to 7 or 12 or somewhere in that middle range, and Major Explosion can kind of like wipe the board and deal a good amount of damage. Really cool list. This Pathfinder land destruction list has been a bit of a talk about, like, is it good into Archimago, forcing them to draw sites? I think there has been mixed results is what I've seen around. But really cool list, great idea with Pathfinder. Nice job, both of you. All right, and here is a, a wonderful Elementalist list. This is by Pwn Monkey. He's a local Ohio guy. I think the list has kind of evolved since this iteration, but he was able to make top 8 from our, what did we do? Was it pods? I think it was pods. I don't remember. But Elementalist gets to play all the cool stuff, all the fun things. Great Famine and Black Plagues, again, are great, like, board state control. Land Trait, it's a great blowout card, like attacking thresholds. Mesmerism is that heavy threshold, but a lot of water sites. Poison over for some control. All these 1 mana or 1 threshold things don't like count against Elementalist being able to control it. All we care about is the double threshold stuff. Questing Beasts. Whiteheart is interesting. Autumn Unicorn is like just tempo, playing a lot of the 4/4s with Castle Haunt and Lugbog Cats make a lot of sense there. Princess to go get the trinket or ring or whatever you need. Highland Falconer is kind of like a 2 mana 3/3. I think at this point in this evolution of this list, that was kind of like the idea of playing well-costed minions. He has, I think, since cut Highland Falconer just because it's not impactful enough. Sly Fox is cheeky here, but I don't know, really cool list, and this one's been ever evolving every time he sends it to me. It's like, hey, what do you think about this? And I think this is. I like where this is going, so this could go well. All right, and then I'm going to butcher this name, but I call it, in my head, I say Friend Flip. But another Pathfinder, just this is like air fire aggressive Pathfinder, it looks like, with Cerberian Change is a really cool one if you get onto your opponent's site. Sir Lamorak, I think, is one of the best Sirs. I think Sir Balin is a bit of a trap. He's just a 4/4 that you have to put extra work into to make him work. Sir Pellinor is a great top-end Grandmaster Wizard to just get some more gas. And then Dapper Vampire is great into charge and other things. Only 1 Warhorse here for the movement effect, and 2 Siege Giants. Being wondered how this is due. I guess he also has 3 blinks, so maybe it was fine. But this list doesn't have the land destruction that the other 2 did. But we had 3 Pathfinders in the top 8, which was really cool to see. And I think that's directly due to Sorcerer and Archimago ban. All right, and then this is CJ's list. He's on the Scape Shift. This is also Season 3, mind you. This is Scape Shift Druid. You always have Tawny around to Scape Shift into. A little lighter on the magics. The sites are a little more defensive with Perilous Bridges, Free Cities, and Bottomless Pits. A little more control, playing Helpful Hobs to untap your cats, and then Koi Nixies are the sneaky one here to play it under a water site, bring it up, and like move somebody around less than ideally. And anything you Scape Shift into is really strong. I don't think you get Grandmaster Wizard's Genesis because you transform. 3 Tor's Hammer's Trinket for Tawny. Angel's Eggs are, like we said, if they don't get removed, they just kind of like or too much healing to beat through. Mesmerism from control and grapple shot with any 4/4 captain or Koinix. Just grapple shot's amazing. Just play more grapple shots. You can see this is here. Grapple shot's one of the best blowout cards you can have. Like, kill something and attack is really strong. All right, and then here's Joffrey's Deathspeaker list. Summoning Spear and Black Plague, great famine, great ores in this kind of list. Summoning Spear for the Nibishin combo, Death Dealer to reset the board, playing the Grandmaster Wizards to fill your hand, Pack with the Devil, just all the card draw in the world. Land Surveyors. Land Surveyors, I know says draw a sight, but it really says draw a spell because you can draw a spell that turn. Apprentice Wizard is more card draw. Yeah, it's just great. I know talking to him afterwards, he would change this list a little bit, but nice job on finals, and we'll move on to James. And here, James's list here is similar to Season 2 of the Sorcerer Summit, the Druid Steam, but a little bit different. I don't remember the exact list that the other one was playing, but did well in this Season 3 for James. Turtles can be a really frustrating minion to deal with, especially playing it on water sites. Sir Mordred is great against any kind of minion deck at 2-for-1s, maybe 3-for-1 somebody. Lava Flow, I think, is a little interesting here. I would probably play Poison Nova, but this one deals with spiders. Snowball can be really good, especially with Tawny and pushing things. You can deal 3 to your opponent if you have Tawny in front of you and they play a minion in front of them, and you snowball and you get them too. Rebex for just a 4/4 charge. Yeah, really cool list. Adept Illusionist, I'm not a huge fan just because it's 2 toughness and there's violence running around. There's the ring and deserts, and just 2 toughness dies really quickly. But nice job on winning the finals, James. Thank you, everybody. Season 4 is currently underway with a pointed Magoo and points list. I think it's going to be a great tool to mitigate and sculpt a fun format. But thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.